Hello, hello. Thank you all for joining us today. I deeply appreciate Shivani's efforts in making this event happen, and I really want to thank her and all the performers that they felt and they thought it is really necessary to look back and on what they have created. When Shivani told me about this, I have noted down few things why I felt and how I approach this need of revisiting our work. So I'm just going to read out my notes for you. What I create is a part of who I am. Where I create, I'm true to myself. I reflect, I learn, and I unlearn. I strongly believe that as an artist, revisiting the journey I embarked on is deeply moving. There is both a sense of belonging and enduring longing to create. It feels like timber, the wood, lying around to season, make it suitable for use. These movements are just collected, and now they're adjusting their content of that of the environment in which they will be used. I carry what I have created, offering it to the spectator to sever, leave, or carry with them as they please. Yet I choose to live with it. And I'm curious about everybody's journey here, beautiful artists and performers. And I want to know what they think and if they can share their journeys with us. Question to Kavya. Kavya, I watched your performance, and because I have learned the same dance style, Bharatanatyam, it felt like I'm at home. I was comfortable because I know the setting where we all learn this dance style. So being at home is like so much comfort to see the movements because maybe the language that you speak could be different than my vocabulary, but it exists and I'm aware of it. So I was very much comfortable to watch it. It was at like, oh, I know this. I know what she's trying to say. So there was different type of comfort or, cozy, warm meal that you're having with your friends or something. So they were very comforting and very interesting that the piece was going through and how it developed. I urge everybody again to please watch. And the question is to you, when did Bharatanatyam start to feel truly yours? Like, could you please share your journey with the art form and how it shaped your this particular performance, how it became yours and the performance happened? Thank you.
Thanks, Venu. And oh my God, I'm now dreaming of khichdi and whatever, but like, okay, nice warm meal. Yeah, but thank you. That's a very beautiful way of describing like how you feel when you see something that you resonate with. So I really appreciate that. Um, and I think, to be very honest, it, it has its ups and downs. I think there are times when it feels this is it, this is my thing, I found my thing. And then there are times when it's like, oh wow, today I feel so disconnected from my dance form. And I think even with Maryam and Debanjali, like they've been so honest in sharing that. And I think sometimes as dancers, we find it quite hard to say, okay, you know what, actually today this is not feeling right in my body, or it's not sitting with something else that I believe in, or things like that. So I think definitely there's a lot of negotiation, like Debanjali also said, and I think it's a constant journey from starting from when I was 4 to now when I'm whatever 31. Uh, I think there are days when it still doesn't feel like mine. So I'll be very honest about that. Having said that, I think the question for me is, why do I still feel so passionate about something that is also so full of complications? And I think that is what maybe I'll take from your question and answer that. I think I think with anything that we enjoy doing in life, there will be things that we maybe completely embrace about it, and then there will be things that we question about it. So what I loved in making this piece is that I had the freedom to be vulnerable. I had the freedom to say, okay, actually these are the things I love about the art form, and these are the things I'm not comfortable with. So even like you said, the arc of the performance, if anyone goes and watches it, there's a little bit of humor, and then there's a little bit of like searching and seeking, because that's always happening. And then there's that like confusion, like which side, like, which side of the line do I lie on? And then there is that frustration of, oh my God, like, why is everyone telling me what my Bharatanatyam needs to be? So I think that is sort of the arc of the performance that even goes in my head over the years. That's how it has been. And I think in some ways I found it very liberating to be able to bring that on stage. And I think sometimes what happens with the Margam or a full-fledged Bharatanatyam piece, of course, I still, even today, I will love going on stage and doing a Jati Swaram or a Padam or a Tilana. And there are days when I love that. And then there are days when I'm like, I don't want to be a Naika sitting and crying for my Lord to come and save me, because that is not who I am today. And that is not who I probably will ever be. So then I think there's that pull and push of what I wanted to show, not necessarily about particular aspects, but about, again, the art form as a whole. One of the things I really wanted to do, again, a bit like Maryam, with involving the audiences. Sometimes I feel with a lot of performative classical dances of any genre, whether South Asian or otherwise, there's a little bit of that, oh, I'm on stage and then they're looking at me. And I wanted to break a little bit of that barrier. And I remember even on that day, I asked Shivani, like, Shivani, what if nobody joins me? So there's a section for anyone who was not there, where I ask the audience to start, like, I say some jatis, like, "Ta, kadib me, Kajan," and then I expect and I hope that the audiences will actually make the music for me and, play along with me while I dance. And that's how the piece closes. And I remember telling Shivani, like, what if no one joins? And she was like, don't worry, at least I and the other dancers in the Star UK team will join. And then it was so beautiful that it just happened. And I think sometimes it was also learning that in order to make something yours, you need to sometimes take a risk as well, and just believe that people are also going to be with you, like, on that little experiment. And whatever, it was hardly like a minute or a minute and a half. And the fact that people were willing to try out something which they've never done, probably, like making music for a dancer while they dance, especially in a South Asian dance style. So that was another small way of me making it my Bharatanatyam, like by sharing it with others. I really wanted it to be something beyond me on stage, and that was a big thing for me that day. The last thing I'll add is just in terms of, you asked a little bit about like over the years and how it has culminated. So um, it, I think with a lot of South Asian classical dances and some other programs I've done as well, um, there's always a question of, oh, can we as Indian, like people who practice Indian dance, classical dance styles, can we improvise? Because I think we learn very set ways of how a choreography is done, and then you teach it, and then you go and do it. And is it even possible that like we just play the music and dance, like and it's so common a practice in contemporary dance styles or other styles that I know of, even Bollywood, like you can just play the music and like anyone can like start dancing. But with like many classical dance styles, I feel like there's this fear that, oh, actually we've never been given the space to improvise, or improvisation as a technique, like as something where you're able to just use your knowledge of the body, like Debanjali was just referring to, like all this knowledge that is stored, can you just let it out when the music plays? And in making this piece, not necessarily the final product, but the way I made it had a lot of improvisation. So for example, I would play different types of music and just dance it out. What is my Bharatanatyam? Like, forget the writing, forget the talking, what is my Bharatanatyam when I play music and I dance it out? And then I started filming myself and started realizing, oh, there are these little things that I do which are maybe very intrinsically me, and maybe that's what I'm slowly going to draw from and mold it into what that, the final piece would be. So I think that was just another aspect which I've been uh, trying to do to make it more mine. Like, yeah, just dance it from the heart as many times as possible rather than always relying on someone else to choreograph, give it to you, and then go and perform something. So, and yeah, for anyone out there who's listening, go play some music today and dance it out. And I hope that will bring you some joy as well. And I will shut up now and pass it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kavya. Very interesting that you spoke about being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable in the space where you create. And even though you're vulnerable, you're still creating. So when it goes up, 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 and maybe there is a point when it rains down, it's still a creation. There is there comes the sensitivity as you person creating and people who are watching you. And then, it's just like you're giving your hand, hold me or something. So it's very important that we speak out loud about being vulnerable when we create and it's still part of us. So thank you so much.